Hey, so update on BTC and the crypto markets, and really if this is a time that you should be panicking or if this is a time where you should be buying the dip, okay? So obviously we have an absolutely enormous capitulation candle early in the hours of yesterday morning, if you're in the UK, and basically the market absolutely shit the bed, went all the way down to about 42. On some exchanges I've seen it went down to about 40. Either way, as far as I know, we are still above this 40k level. And on the macro, when you zoom out, if you take out the volatility of what we'll probably get over this weekend and into next week, we are still in a macro uptrend, and we don't actually need to worry too much about anything for the most part, because for the most part we have these lows at 30k, swing high at 52. Okay, broke down to 40, went up to about 69, 70. Okay, and then we've created so far a higher low, and now what we would be looking for is that push into the into all new time highs from here to really build up a base. I'm looking at this as basically a one big flush out, which I was looking for. Didn't quite expect it to go down low as 42, but you can't really get those regions exactly right. But what we did say to look out for those downside targets, and we looked out for weakness here at the 60k level where it was getting rejected. And yeah, I would be looking out for this as a potential bottom. It has never been a bad time to buy Bitcoin when we have had especially these sort of magnitude of drops of essentially 28% in a day and a half, 2 days. Okay, that is massive. Okay, any other time that we've had these massive capitulation candles, wherever they end up, and we end up with these massive wicks, okay, it's never been a bad time to buy. If you buy on spot, you should be fine. If you are trading on leverage, really, and you're trading on a high leverage of 10x or more, then you're a moron. You've been probably liquidated in this. Anyone who goes leverage long in greens and at tops always get wrecked. Okay, this is the time. If you wanted to go on leverage, this would be the time to do it, because your risk to the downside is a lot lower, even though it's a lot harder to actually just buy the fear when people were panicking and whatnot. But that's the way that I'd be looking at it. And let's see what kind of base we can form here on these levels at about in the 48, 47Ks. Okay. I'm looking for this to hold. I would expect this to be the low, okay, on pretty much all indicators. Okay, we are overstretched. We're pretty much on the oversold on the daily, 12 hourly, and all other time frames on the 12. We're at 4 at 18, 15 on the 4 hour. Even on the hourly, we're still lurking down here at 11. If you don't buy here, okay, then I can't really tell you where to buy, because these should be looked at, in my opinion, as opportunities to basically get maximum reward from the market, and these are the areas where the money is made. Okay, so it's not a time to be fearful. And if you are, try to use that emotion and go, okay, what have I learned from the past when Bitcoin basically has these massive drops and massive dumps to the downside? They're usually good buying opportunities. And if you buy spot, then you should be fine, right? And if you're someone who, like me, envisages Bitcoin at 150, 200k, around those sort of levels, why would you not buy at these points where we've got these big massive drawdown down days where you're getting it offered to you at a discount? Okay, so that would be my analysis. Sure, we can chop around and we can just hang around in this range over here, no problem. Okay, maybe we take out this low, although I suspect we don't. When we put in these massive bottoms like this, we don't tend to take them out. We did over here, but it wasn't really. There was no really sustained move, and we can pretty much call 30k the low. But yeah, I would look for this to potentially be the low, and I'll be buying this dip. Okay, if we break 40k and we kind of close somewhere down in these regions of 30s, then we can kind of have another chat and talk. But like I said, this is the main swing low to hold. Okay, I'll be looking for this to hold. And if you look at some of the other coins as well, what else can we see in the market to give us clues about what else is happening? So if we look at ETH BTC, okay, we got the drop, but ETH BTC is actually showing a lot of strength, which shows me, okay, that we want to take out these highs over here, okay, but also the strength in Ethereum tells me that this market isn't quite done. And if we were entering some sort of massive bear phase or bear period, then I would be expecting some sort of downturn price like these and massive crash and massive dump, but we haven't seen that. So what we're actually looking for is, you know, some sort of consolidation in the next few days, in the next week or so. Let's see where prices go. But this is also indicating to me that you know, we're not done, and the market's got more room to go in this strength in Ethereum. And if we also look at some of the other majors that I like to look at, if you look at stuff like, let's just start with ADA, right? I had this major area here at 150. We blasted through that. But if you look at this, we're in this enormous zone where we have had enormous wicks before. Imagine I said to you up here that you could have ADA for $1. Would you have taken it? Yes, you would. But would you buy now? You sit there, maybe sit on the fence and go, oh, maybe not, right? But if you look over here, this is basically all of this region over here. Anywhere here, it should be a buy, right? Until we get any closes down here, like below $1, convincingly, then maybe we can look at other price targets. But these are areas of massive demand zones, right? Also looking at theta, it's the same, right? These areas where we get massive wicks, okay? These are massive basing demand zones, which will likely actually end up being reaccumulation for another leg higher. That's the way that I'm reading it, okay? So you've got this strength in Ethereum. We've got big zones in ADA and theta. And I told you about AVAX not so long ago, okay? To look out for the levels of what, $100. Maybe we get to about $75, $80 down here, and we've hit the targets to the T, okay? Now, is this due more to market conditions rather than, you know, the token dumping? Yes, probably likely, but we still told you to look out for it because it was overextended. So, looking good on that. Let's have a look at some of the other majors. Solana, okay? Again, coming into major support on these trend lines. Look, zoom out and you can see these massive zones where, although we've had, you know, like drop of like, sometimes I'd say only, it's dropped about 34% from the high. So it's actually been performing better than BTC. But, you know, we're coming into big areas of support for some of these alts. So just look out for a lot of these coins to major zones of support. So that's the way that I'd be looking at it. Let's see how we move into next week. This was the flush out that I would have been waiting for. Okay, didn't quite expect to go low like 40, 42, but we're at that 47 where remember, wicks are less important, okay, than the closes on the weekly and the monthly, etc. So if we look on the weekly for just BTC, okay, I'm seeing still big wicks over here, okay, to the downside. No closes down here below 40 or anything like that. Zoom out, look at it on the monthly. We're still uptrending even on the monthly, okay? So that's how I would see it. Let's see how we go into next week. I will catch you in the next video, and let's hope for basically some upside targets. This for me is a buy the dip opportunity that comes out not that often, maybe once or twice a year if you're lucky. And that's it. Peace out. See you in the next one.